Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Brian from USA.patriot.cards. And it's been a long time since I've been able to sit down and crank out a video. Saturday morning, finally feeling like I have a slow enough morning to do it. So I'm excited to get this out, talk a little bit about the last Dallas card show, which was last weekend, update you guys on some of the moves I've made, and yeah, just show you some cool cards. A lot of stuff has been happening. For those of you that have watched me for some time, you know I started a new job. I'm teaching 8th grade English and I'm coaching varsity baseball. And the school district where I teach is like 45 minutes away. So I have to get up at 5:15. I'm out the door at 6:15. Have to be at school by 7:10. Usually walk back in the door about 6. So I'm grinding, but it feels good. Ideally, right now I'm an assistant varsity baseball coach, and hopefully someday I can take the head job, and that's kind of what I want to do with the back half of my life. You know, I'm almost 50 years old, so yeah, I'd love to just coach some high school baseball in Texas for the rest of my life, and collect cards and do all that stuff. It's just I've been at home for 6 years helping my wife do her thing, her business, which is still going, and so it's been a challenge to adjust for everybody, not just me. My son is 16. He just got his learner's permit, so we're doing the at-home driver's ed, so that's added some pressure, but still managed to enjoy the hobby that I love, and still managed to sneak away for a weekend. Shout out to my wife for letting both me and my son go to the Dallas show last weekend. Of course, Dallas show never disappoints. It was amazing. Got to see JR from San Antonio, my friend, came up. Of course, I spent the whole weekend with my hobby bestie Josh, and got to see a lot of old faces. Gage, kind of back in the circle over at Sappy's table. Who else? Everybody was there. Lucas was there. Remington was there. I met some new guys. Coon Philly helped me get a deal done. So shout out to you if you ever come across this channel. But yeah, let's just get into it real quick. First off, let me start off with probably the biggest thing that I've done, the biggest move that I've made since I last did my last video, is that I sold my Luka Blue Ice. So, like I said, if you guys been watching me for any amount of time, you know that Luka Blue Ice card was like the grail to my Luka collection that I'd been chasing, and then I traded into a Mahomes Camo Prism Auto PSA 10 with some Josh Allen, some Lamar Jackson, I think Julio Rodriguez, and then I flipped that Mahomes into a Blue Ice Luka and 3K. And then I sold my Blue Ice Luka on my slabs for $24K. So I ended up netting about $23,200. And so that all in all was probably from the Josh Allens and the Lamar Jacksons and the Julio Rodriguez, from that initial trade into Mahomes to the $26K that I netted, I probably made about $15K, maybe $16K. Especially after last weekend when Josh Allen laid a complete egg. I don't know what it was a silver PSA 10 rookie, and then it was a silver Lamar Jackson PSA 10, and it was a camo Lamar Jackson PSA 10 Prism, and then it was the Julio Rodriguez first Bowman Refractor Auto PSA 10. So I guess that those equal up to be about 10 to 12K. So whatever that difference is, probably maybe like 13, 14K is the profit that I made. The reason I sold that card is just because I was over leveraged with Luka. I have too much Luka stuff, and grinding every day, getting up, going to work every day puts a little bit of a perspective on the potential energy or the potential money that we're holding in these cards. So I just wanted to supplement things a little bit, and Ideally, I'd like to get that card back in a 9.5 at some point, because my blue Luka out of 199 is in a 9.5. So I did that. Shout out to the guy in New York City who bought that card. I hope he's a longtime Mavs fan, so I know it's not just a flip for him. He's actually going to enjoy that card. So that kind of made a difference for me, you know. When you're sending on to flippers, or you're sending on to people that are just trying to play in those margins, and you know they're not going to keep the card, you know it's just a money-making opportunity. It wouldn't prevent me from selling, but it just kind of feels a little better knowing it's going to a true fan. Let's see, what else have I done? Have I done anything? Well, no. Everything else I've done was done at the show. Let me get into what I picked up. So the first thing I picked up was this Marcus Allen Flawless out of 15. And it's from the Greats set. Now, it's kind of hard to see in this ruby hollow foil here. But it's the Greats is all game used. So the Flawless Greats subset is all game used. You can see here, it says enclosed game used. So the Marcus Allen market is full of player-worn stuff. And so I got this to pair with this. I'll show it to you here. My sports consciousness sort of began when the Raiders and the Redskins were playing. I think it was the '84 Super Bowl. But I remember loving Marcus Allen back then, and always being a fan of Marcus Allen. Then, of course, Bo Jackson came along. And this Bo Jackson's also game used. So I saw this, got a good price on it, and picked it up just because, how cool is that to have two of the greats from the Raiders, both game used. Next, I picked this one up on trade night just because as I make this video, there's news that Kevin Porter Jr., had some domestic battery or something with his girlfriend, who's a WNBA player. And now they're trying to trade him, or they might eventually even waive him. I don't know. And I don't know enough about the Rockets to know what that means for them. Hopefully they can trade Kevin Porter Jr. and get something back. But the reason I bought this Jalen Green, of course, it's color matched. It's out of 199, and I like that coach down there. Ime Udoka, I think is his name. Big believer in him. Big believer in they brought in Van Vliet. They brought in Dylan Brooks. They got a good young core. His stuff. This is. I got it at the last comp, and it's never been lower than. In the last probably 2 years. So it's come down about half from where it was at its height. I just believe in him, and it's he's young. He came out. There was a video of him like humping one of his teammates or whatever. I think people make fun of that, but I think that's just a thing. I don't think it's going to affect his card values at all. But he's young, he's energetic, and he's just that type of play where it's that post hype. He was hype. Whether he lived up to it or not, arguably he did not. His prices have come down, and now's a good time to revisit some of his stuff. But with the new coach down there and the new direction, I just thought I'd take a swing and see what happens. So the Jalen Green Red Prism PSA 10. I think the pop on this is in the 30s maybe. But it's a true red color match. So then, let's see. I picked this up, and this is just a small card, but I thought it was cool because it's teal. I like the teal color matches for Herbert, and this is an Illusions Trophy Collection. This is out of 175, and if the light catches it just right, you can kind of see the teal color. But anything teal with Herbert, I'm in. So I don't know. This is like $150. It was really cheap. I just being a 10, and so that when I say mission accomplished, my true mission was to get this card I'm about to show you. But ultimately, I just wanted to move into some Herberts. I sold a lot of cards the show prior to this last show, including a Josh Allen blue scope. And, I once, at one time, I'll show you here. I mean, look at all these Josh Allens I had at one point. I mean, I had a pretty big Josh Allen bag, and I just decided that, hey, he's going to be the next one on the chopping block in my PC because I have so much of him, and his prices were high. So I just started slowly like trading and selling his cards, and then the last one to move, the one I kind of kept back, was the Blue Scope Auto, and I moved that, I sold that, and turned it into this card I'm about to show you. And so of course, when you had a big bag of a player and then you trade it or sell it all, I mean, it's just kind of hobby rules that you're supposed to root for that player's downfall and demise at that point. You don't want to regret making moves. So that's what it's turned into for me. I was pleased to see him struggle and see the whole football world coming out saying, I told you, he's a turnover machine. I think Josh Allen's going to be fine, but I think the Josh Allen we're seeing now and the Josh Allen that we saw get beat in Kansas City on the 13 seconds, as far as hobby, places in the hobby, that 13-second Josh Allen was light years above where Josh Allen is now. And with the general, coming down of the prices in the market, just in general across all players, all sports, and then with his added, value decrease just based on play. I mean, I think he's probably going to lose 70% of where he was when he was at his peak. And so I just think that Justin Herbert is a little more undervalued, and I think he's a better quarterback. And I think that the Chargers have been getting the shaft for the last couple of years. Now, a lot of that has to do with their head coach. But I thought if there's ever a team that is due, it feels like San Diego's due. And I've always loved Justin Herbert. I just never have had any of his cards. So that's the mission that I wanted to accomplish. So the show prior, I traded that. I also traded a blue scope, a blue ice Tua, which I kind of regret. I wish I had that card again. But with Tua, you just never know. I mean, he's one hit away from not being able to play football anymore. So it's bittersweet that I included that Tua blue ice in the monster deal that I did with Titan Graphs 24. Shout out Tyler, 2 shows ago. But I am kind of glad that I got off that blue scope Allen. Now Allen might bounce back. He might make the Super Bowl, and I might really regret having moved off that big bag that I had. But at this point, I kind of have taken my chips off of the Josh Allen number and put them on the Justin Herbert. So, of course, this was my first. I really wanted to get this. Some people like optic contenders. Other people prefer the true contenders. I like them both. But when it comes to color match, and that's pretty much the way, I mean, that's my lane, color match stuff. I want color match stuff. Helps me really focus and keep my hobby approach pretty narrow, if I just look for color match stuff. But you can't color match with the true contenders, the paper, but you can with the optic. And so here's a gorgeous teal 1010. This is out of 99. I love cards that are out of 99 as well. I think that's just a good solid parallel number. So I did have this, and then I wanted to get this card as well. And let me tell you, it's been hard to track this down. I've been on the hunt for this for about 2 months. The last comp on this was 81, but there's nothing out there. I've had saved searches of this card, and there was a 9.5 min gem that did, I think, 4 on PWCC. And I almost pulled the trigger, but it got snatched up right before I could. And that was on Friday night of the show. So Saturday morning I went back, found this card, and ended up having to do a 3-way deal for it. So I'll explain the deal in a second, but here's the card. So yeah, it's just gorgeous. And having moved the Luka Blue Ice, getting back this kind of helps. Not that I understand the Luka Blue Ice is 3 times as valuable, but I just love the blue ice when it color matches, and so having another blue ice in my collection, a big one, definitely helps. Um, so I made the trade for this, and how I did it was I traded this Mojo Luka Prism Auto, and I got, what was it, 3250 and this Jalen Hurts Contenders 1010. And then I flipped basically the Jalen Hurts Contenders 1010 and what was it? I added 1250 to the deal on top of the cash that I got. So essentially it was 4,500 and Jalen Hurts, but 3,250 of that was coming to me in the Luka deal. So basically, I gave the Luka in 1250 for this, which puts the comps right around 85 to 8750, which is about. I know of 2 private sales that have happened that aren't on the books where this brought back 8,500 cash. So that's where it stands. Yeah, this card's gorgeous. I'm all in on Herbert. Of course, they lost to the Dolphins last week, but I don't think it was Herbert's fault. They really leaned on their running game, and so took a little pressure off of Herbert. But their defense couldn't stop anybody. Tyreek Hill went nuts, and so did Tua. But I'm looking for big things from Herbert and from their new offensive coordinator. What's his name? Dude they got from the Cowboys. You know what I'm talking about. Kellen Moore. So I'm looking for big things from them this season. A few other things that I saw at the show that were of interest, but I did not pick up, I saw this Flawless Dirk Gold 10 out of 10 game used. You can see the price tag on it. They're usually doing about 12 to 13. He was high. He didn't want to come off. It's a gorgeous card, but, adding another Dirk Flawless patch, game used auto, has to make sense at this point. I have 2. And if the price is right, or if I could trade into it, possibly. But he was just too high on that. What else? So I saw this, a lot of buzz about Anthony Edwards lately, especially after the FIBA tournament. Saw this. This was doing it. I think the comps on this are around 32 to 35. Dude wanted 7K. So obviously he wasn't serious about moving it. This had a $400 price tag on it. I think it's more like a $150 card. I like these early Topps Chrome parallels, especially in Gem 10s, but not when they're overpriced. Here's the Hertz that I traded the Luka for, and so I got the Hertz and 3,250 for the Luka. But it was a 3-team trade. It was all right there. It all happened at once. So I never really owned this card. Oh, here's a sweet Kobe. Look at that thing. I mean, just the 96 finest refractor. One of my favorite all-time cards, and an 8, which still has the coating on it. An 8 is a totally respectable grade on this card. But the guy was twice as high. I think this card does around 3, and he wanted to be at 6. Lots of that at the Dallas show recently. Here's a cool Jeter I looked at. You don't see this card a whole lot. I think he was around comps. I was motivated to take a picture of it, but not to make a move on it. This is one I really wanted, but I didn't make the move. I just decided not to. But this is a Vince Carter refractor rookie. So I've got the Jason Williams and I've got the Dirk refractors out of 1998 Topps Chrome, but they're in PSA 9s. So ideally, I'd like to pair a PSA 9 just for uniformity's sake and to save a little money. But this is definitely a card I'm after. And then probably the Paul Pierce also, if I can find. I love that 98 Topps Chrome set. It's a good class. This one was just too. I'm not a soccer guy by any means, but man, Kylian Mbappe might be my favorite soccer player. I'm always been sort of a guy that doesn't like. Messi's amazing. I get it, but I don't know. Um, Whoever everybody loves, I try to take the guy that's just under him as my guy. But Kylian Mbappe camo to 25, super gorgeous color match. Surprisingly, that's a 20K plus card. This is gorgeous too. I thought about this. Has a little streak on the auto, which keep me up at night, but it's game used Griffey. It's 5-star. 5-star is interesting product because it's game used, it's licensed, but it's a more affordable product. Of course, if this was a dynasty card, it'd probably be twice as much. So baseball purists, who cares? It's still a Griffey game used auto. So if you can get it a little cheaper because it's in a set that's not as highly desirable, I mean, that's what I'm all about. But I ultimately did not make a play for that. What else do we have here? I did pick this up on Friday. It's a small purchase. This is a $20 purchase, but Blue Ice, love it. And this is from Luka's rookie year, which made it even cooler to me. I need to slab this. It looks like it's gradable. Centering's pretty good. No corner issues or surface issues. But the Dirk Blue Ice out of 99. Oh, and this came in. My son and I. So, Vogelbach is he's a bigger guy. He hits like piss missiles, is what the kids call him. But so my son and I have always laughed when when people do TikToks or whatever about him and him running around the bases trying to stretch out a triple or something. But we like the guy. He's funny too. So we always kind of had it in our heads to get one of his cards. And this True Blue First Bowman PSA 10 popped up on eBay. Guy had it at $79.99 or best offer, and I talked him all the way down to $40. It's a Pop 2. So while it's not the most valuable card in the world for what it is and for who it is, and we love him, it was just such a fun pickup, such an awesome pickup. I can't believe, like I said, he's not going to make the Hall of Fame or anything, but a Pop 2 True Blue color match for $40. And these are the cards that still make sense in the hobby. So that was a very exciting get, right, to start the weekend off. But I think that's it. So I parted with the Blue Ice Luka. I brought back a Blue Ice Herbert. So happy about that. Got a neat little Herbert collection going, all teal. Let's see if I can get all this together. And then the Jalen Green was a fun card to pick up, and then the two Raider running backs that are both game used. I'd say it was a successful show. Definitely had fun. My son did his Pokemon thing, and I'll show you some cool cards he got. He got these Magic Carp Pokemon cards. Just really fun cards, really cool cards. They do about $400 to $500 a piece. He had a great show. We just had a PSA submission come back with about 20 Pokemon cards. So he was loaded up and locked and ready to roll. And he ended up making a bunch of trades and coming home with about $900. He, of course, is burning a hole in his pocket right now. But it's fun. It's fun to go and watch him do his thing, and I do my thing. So anyway, there you have it. My intention is to maybe try to utilize my 45-minute drive into work and back home to do some drive time content. We'll see how that goes. It's about a 30-minute drive or 30-mile drive on a 2-lane road. So I need to get one of the camera holders from my car to do it hands-free. But hopefully we can do that, and I can maybe pop out some videos a little more frequently. But yeah, I appreciate it. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to still crank them out as I can. And definitely I'm going to always do show reviews and keep you guys updated on my moves. But until the next one, we'll see you then. Thanks, guys. Bye.